do our cut drills. Grab your saber, turn it on, or not, doesn't matter. We're going to start everything in middle guard for this. We're going to do, there we go, big shoulder, and we're going to do all shoulder, elbow, and wrist descending cuts with a step forward. So from middle guard, round the head, step down, cut one. Now we're going to do full cuts. When we get to the wrist and elbows, we're going to end in half cuts. For the shoulder, I want to do full cuts. So pop that bubble, pop, pop. Round the head, step back, cut. That's one. Up and back. We're going to do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Switch your feet. Left foot forward. Another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, my movements are all from my shoulder. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. We're going to do that 2 more sets from the elbow, from the wrist. From the elbow and wrist, what I mean by that is the middle guard, elbow. 1. Ending in half cut, half tempo, or sorry, middle guard, I'm ending with a half cut for each one. So, middle guard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Switch your feet. Elbows. My blade doesn't cross behind the back of my head. My blade and my hilt are always in front of my body. 1, 2, 3. Still extending on the cut. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It worked again. Good. Last one we'll do, and then we're going to do 2 steps, 2 cuts from the wrist. So with the wrist cut, everything is out in front. My right hand, using a 2-handed weapon. We teach a 2-handed style here to everybody to start off with. My apologies to those one-handed fighters. I am too. I have a little saber I fight with one hand all the time. Base curriculum here at CSA is a 2-handed curriculum. So, at least to start, right? So, my right hand is out, fully extended. Cutting with my wrist, I'm rotating my front wrist for the cut. Essentially, my hand goes from palm up to palm down. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My left hand directs my saber. 6. My right hand pushes it forward and back. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So again, my right hand is used to move my saber into or away from my opponent, roughly speaking, right? My left hand directs it. It's a lever. It's a mechanical device, right? It's not a imbued anything. It's a mechanical device with a fulcrum where your front hand is, right? If you are using one hand, the way I look at it, I'm sure others look at it differently, and that's totally cool, right? The pivot and the fulcrum is actually between your webbing of your pinky and ring finger, or forefinger, your thumb and forefinger versus your pinky. So the lever action happens, the lever action happens here, right, versus here. So one-handed, you never want to release that pinky from the grip, right, but you want to be able to squeeze it into your palm, right, and use that as the lever, right hand, left hand, right? My opinion, my thought, what I teach my guys here. If you have other ideas and you want to contribute and throw some ideas in, reach out to me, let's do it, right? I love collaborating with people on this. So what were we? Left foot forward, wrist cuts, half cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you're doing these, right, can I see that? No, now you can. Make sure your front toes, whatever foot ends up in front, right, that's where you're cutting. Wherever those toes point, I did a story in one of the videos I have in the LEBD Sabering Basics class. I think I just did a footwork alignment video. Check it out. Where that front foot points is where you will naturally cut, right? So one, it's super important that if my opponent is directly across from me, or wherever I'm pointing my toes, that's where my blade's going to land. If I turn my toes in, my blade comes in. If I turn my toes out, my blade hits there. If my opponent is there, and my toes are pointing out, and I'm trying to cut here, I'm working against my body. I'm fighting myself. So now I'm fighting two people. That's silly, right? Don't fight more people than you need to. So make your toes point to where your opponent is, no matter how you're aligned. Even if I'm radially to my opponent at an angle, my toes are always pointed toward wherever they are, right? Okay. Practice that with your footwork and with these cutting moves. Any movement you do, I will say this all the time, the most important thing you can have is good footwork and good alignment. You have that, you will not injure your knees as much as you probably would if you didn't, right? You actually sustain the life of them. You actually build them up a little bit. So you really can help prolong your life in this sport, and any fencing sport for that matter, or any sport for that matter. I don't care what you do. If your footwork sucks, you probably suck at it, right? All right, so those are the 3 cuts. 2 cuts, 2 steps. So we're going to do 2 simple high line attacks. We're going to go from the inside line to the outside line, right? We're going to start in middle guard, right foot forward, left foot back, middle guard. Arms are extended. I'm going to go around step 1, 2. Now I do want to close. What we're doing with the second one is I'm closing a little bit to the outside angle so I can create a new center line to my opponent. We'll talk about that later today. But again, 2-step cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Call me out on my footwork. If my toes are off, call me out. I want to know these things. All right, so left foot forward, another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, why are we doing this? 1, it develops muscle memory, right? Do it slow, do it with good form, make sure you're doing proper alignment with your cuts. I probably did all those way too fast. Anybody can do anything fast. Do it slow, that's where you see your mistakes, that's how you can correct yourself. That being said, right? Never throw one attack. If you're in an encounter or a tournament or, you know, whatever the situation is, never throw one attack. At least 2, if not more than that, right? You can't plan 5, 6 attacks. It's never going to work out, right? But you can plan 2, 3 attacks. These 2 attacks, if I'm out of measure with my opponent, I think we talked about this on Tuesday's class, we did about measure. That first attack could be an out of measure attack to draw a response. It could be an in measure feint to redirect their defense to a different side so I can open up a line. It could be they're retreating and you need to gain that, continue to gain measure and distance into your opponent. So you could do 2 actual trying to land attacks. So multiple attacks is always super important. We're going to do one more sequence and build on that. And by the way, you can do all of our 8 cuts in this way. So you really want to get ambitious. Start in shoulder guard. 1, 2, 3 horizontal cuts. 4, 5. Right? You can add upward cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can add a lot of these in. We're just doing the downward cuts today. I'll add those in as future exercises going forward. Now let's do 3 cuts. High line, low line for the third. And when I say low line, I actually mean, right, line of attack, center of the cut is basically at sternum height. So I mean into the torso. Now you can cut up to the leg, but I really mean into the torso. So we're going to go 1, 2, wrist cut, 3. So the strike is to under the arm of your opponent, right, into the meat of their torso. So 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. We'll do that one too. So right foot forward, middle guard. 1, 2, 3. We'll do 5 of these each way. 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. 3. Oops. Nope. Now 3. 4. 5. Let's switch our feet. I like to switch your feet even though we're doing 3 steps and we are doing the advancing steps, so we are moving forward. It's still a good because I want to do these activities as if I'm in an encounter. So I can be fighting with my opponent, bang, bang, bang. Now I'm left foot forward. Cool. I train from here all the time. The more you train from a posture, from a position, the more your body will just know what you can do in that position. If I always train right foot forward, left foot back, middle guard, and I'm in the middle of a fight and I'm sitting here and I'm tired, I never train in this rear low guard, right? And I find my head's forward, I'm like, what do I do from here? We want to train from these positions so we know, oh yeah, back edge cut, front edge cut, stepping back, right? There's a lot of things I can do from the postures that you land in. And that's all, you know, it's a million, sorry, tangent, it's okay. There's a million terms: guards, invitations, postures, kami, depending on the system you study. Essentially, they are positions you put your body in or positions you find your body in throughout the course of an encounter. If they're intentional and you're putting yourself there, why are you doing it, right? You have to have a reason for every move you do when you're fencing and you're fighting. If you don't have a reason for doing it, why are you doing it, right? Conserve your energy, be efficient in your movements, be precise in your movements, right? That's why you've got to move with intention. So if I'm in a guard and I want to go into middle guard, it's intentional because I want to keep my blade before my opponent. I want them to do something to my blade, or I want them to step out to a line, right? I'm inviting them to do something. If I drop down into a low rear guard or a side low guard, right, my tip is down, my blade is back, I might even lean forward a little bit, put my head into my opponent. I'm doing this with intention because I want them to come down. I want to gauge where their strike, I want to direct where their strike's going. Move with intention, right? If I'm tired, I'm in the middle of a bout, and I find myself up against the wall, and I'm leaning back, maybe I train from here, I don't know. I kind of start from this position sometimes. Reminds me of this one. This is what I can do, right? Your body starts to know. So with that, let's do left foot forward, the last drill, 3 cuts. We're going to do 5 of them, up and back, 1. So step, step, 1. Oh, sorry, it's the front. Now the backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Practice those. And again, make your own combinations up. If you found a good combination you like, message me. We'll put it in. I'll credit you totally, right? Mark created this. Tyner created this, right? Whatever you need to do. So we do 8 different cuts as part of our cut drill. Check out the cut drill in the Sabering Basics video series that I did. We have 8 basic attacks. Actually, there are 8 cuts and a thrust. You can apply any of those 8. Most of them can be done from all of the guards that we practice. Again, sometimes you transition between one to another. So if I'm in middle guard and I want to do a descending cut, I'm in high guard now. Cut through into a full cut. Oh, now I'm in low guard, middle guard, high guard, cut, right? So you're always transitioning through a guard for the most part, right? That's all a cut is, an attack is moving from guard A through my opponent to guard B. So